My pick.
I want to hear your pick.
It's surprising to not see this person in the list. I feel like she still has so much further to fly.
Is it? Oh, it's Nancy Pelosi. I thought you for sure were saying Kamala
Doug,
Harris.
it is time for this chick to leave the nest.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi. Let's just check the age real
An
quick.
old age check on Nancy Pelosi.
Currently 85. She'll be a brisk 90 when we're
a brisk 90. Born in 1940 during World War II.
1940, a wealth of experience to bring to the table.
Yes, she's
has
helped us
seen
fight Hitler.
Every important, she was there for Hitler, and she's here for Trump. She's here. She's combated every issue of our time.
Dude, she
and
was legitimately.
you know, at a personal level, I'd let her log into my Robinhood account any day.
Dude, get her in the White House. Let her manage our fund, our national sovereign wealth fund. Just let her go hog wild with it.
incredible.
Get nuts, Nancy.
Nancy
Imagine with her
Pelosi.
at the wheel of a sovereign wealth fund that we all get a little squeeze in.
Bro, I
Dude,
feel
it's
like
infinite money.
every like Fox News host that makes a living off of like ribbing whoever the Democratic nominee is, you literally have like, it's like COVID for streamers. You just made them so much money.
I think that's an important thought. Think about all the job growth in the right-wing media
In the
sector
right-wing media
if
sector.
she was elected.
Pelosi was the candidate, it would be unreal.
Everybody would have a job.
It would be unreal. That'd be awesome. That's a good pick. You want me to go next?
Yeah.
I think Democrats need someone different.
Okay.
They need someone with broad appeal. They need someone with a little bit of riz, and they need someone who in 4 years is going to have some free time. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James. LeBron James' NBA career is about to wrap up.
Mine is serious, by the way. I have a bitchin' candidate.
Mine's serious too.
Okay,
I
all
love
right,
LeBron
all right.
James. He's my GOAT. He's better than Jordan. What better way to prove that? Not with another meaningless basketball stat, but by becoming the
He
president
can
of
vote
the
himself
United
into more championships.
Becoming the president of the United States, LeBron James, I think is what the Democrats need. Shut up and dribble? No. Shut up and vote.
Wow.
His VP,
Really makes you
Ronnie. This is crazy because I feel like I made a full list
Yeah.
of candidate ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on mine.
He's on your
He
list.
was also on mine.
But you know, if you go on the Poly Market and you scroll down enough, not even that much, LeBron's on there.
He's there.
He unironically
Yeah.
could pull.
He
He could do great.
I mean, the other one
I tell you what, he'd do better than Stephen A. Smith. People make that joke all the time.
I actually agree.
Yeah.
If they ran head to head, the other person on there that's not talked about, both Republicans and Democrats, the only person on both Poly Market lists is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who is a dark horse candidate for both parties.
Dark horse for he's actually going to be at the forefront of the Whig party, the Whig revival. Right, the
Guy
Whigs.
needs to put on a wig.
He
your
does.
pick?
He does. He's going to have a big.
Hey, ball joke.
Let's go.
All right, Doug, who's your pick for the DNC in 2028?
This is a real one. I really think this would be the best pick for the Democratic Party.
Now
Perry,
I'm starting to doubt that it's a real
No,
one.
it is
You've
real.
said- You've
If
said
you
it so
pull
many
up the
times.
Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
All right. What I'm trying to do is let the listeners know, look, some of us actually took this seriously. Okay.
Are you
The
fucking
Wall
kidding me? What's
Street
not
Journal
serious
poll.
about this pick? What's not serious about this pick?
What's not serious about this pick?
Wall Street Journal put out a poll, okay? Like right now, the Democrats are the least favorable they've ever been. People dislike the Democrats more than they've ever been disliked in 30 years. The Democratic Party is underwater. The Republicans are not, they don't have a favorable rating, but it's still way better than the Democrats.
Yeah.
So you have a fundamental problem with the Democratic Party where even, like a quote I liked was, the Democratic brand is so bad that they don't have the credibility to be a critic of Trump or the Republican Party. You've got to fundamentally change the image of the Democrats. That's why, boom, Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Okay, you might think, what? That's a little weird. Okay, first off, the Democrats, they're trying to get traditional masculinity back on, right? That's like their big thing. They lost men, they lost Gen Z men, they lost millennial men.
Okay.
He's traditional masculine, right? He's big into sports. He loves the Steelers. He's like, he's your traditional kind of more manually guy on the Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Next, non-establishment candidate, right? The reason Trump is so successful right now and people are so averse to somebody like Gavin Newsom, they're sick of the institutional kind of rot of the political party. You can see it in this, right? He comes from outside. He's not like a hardcore Democrat. He considers himself independent, right? He's really popular with independents. Again, everybody hates the Democrats. If he comes in and he says, I'm a billionaire businessman, like Trump did, I can handle the economy. One of the things in this Wall Street Journal article is they say that even though people don't like Trump's tariffs, they don't like the way he's handling the economy, they still trust the Republicans to handle the economy more than Democrats. So there's a perception, even with how much they dislike Trump, the country broadly thinks Republicans will handle finances and business and economy better. You counteract that with Mark Cuban. You say, look, this is a billionaire businessman. This is somebody you've seen on TV all this time. He's got that big brand. He's well known, just like Trump. He's got the Mavericks. Not only did he own the Mavericks, and everybody loves him for that because he won the championship with his NBA team. Because of that, he could win Texas for the Democrats. Think about that. Unironically smart, right?
I think before they lost
Texas,
Luka,
I would not have traded Luka.
That's what he says. He says stuff like that. Everybody loved him. Okay, check out this story. He's good at PR. He's like brash in a likable way. In a nationally publicized incident in 2002, he criticized the NBA League's manager of officials, Ed T. Rush, saying he wouldn't be able to manage a Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen's management took offense to Cuban's comments and invited him to manage a Dairy Queen restaurant for a day. Mark Cuban accepted the invitation, worked for a day at a Dairy Queen
like Trump
in
at
Cobell,
McDonald's.
Texas, where fans lined up to get a blizzard from the owner of the Mavericks. It's exactly how Trump
this is like
spun
the
himself.
reverse Trump playbook. He has a show like The Apprentice, but a Shark Tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire.
Okay.
He's doing the brash stuff.
He actually wants to run. He commissioned polls in 2020 that showed he would get 25% of the vote. The only reason he didn't is because his family vetoed it. That's what he said. And so if his family, this would be 8 years past that point, is like, hey, Mark, you're good to go now. We're off in college or whatever. He gets to go do it. He's not too old. He's 66, but by the time he's running, when he's 69, that's young enough to get the boomers on board, but not so
69
old that
is
he'll
young
die.
enough?
That's super young. He supports transparency in healthcare through cost-plus drugs, fiscally conservative. He's pro-crypto. I don't like crypto, but a lot of young men like crypto. Again, if your thing is you're hemorrhaging young men, this is the man to take you back. This guy will bring all the men into one tent, one big sweaty blue tent together, and they're going to take it home. I genuinely think this is such a smart pick. Tell me I'm wrong.
Doug, you might be wrong.
What?
Wait,
That's
sorry.
such a smart pick.
Sorry.
I say this as the political expert on this show.
I'll pose a question. Do you think this is a smart pick to win, or do you think this is a smart pick for the United States?
Both.
Because we could argue, say that there's maybe we completely transform the election process,
Yeah.
right? And we want somebody in power who's going to do the best job possible in terms of the actual like day-to-day decisions and direction we're pushing in. I feel like it's probably some quiet guy or woman who doesn't
they're not
want to
gonna
run.
win.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah.
It's like,
Of
so
the
that's what I'm
people-
saying. Do you
of
just
somebody
think
who-
see this as a path to winning more than, or do you think the
yes
answer is
and
both?
no? I think even of the people who have a realistic path to winning, he then would govern. So there's like, I actually looked into his policies to get curious about this. He's like fiscally conservative, but he wants to increase taxes on wealthy and big corporations while minimizing them on small families, small businesses.
Yeah.
Like big focus on small business, but he still obviously has enough experience to get big business, big tech on board because he's been involved with that. In healthcare, that's like a big thing he's pushed for. If you've heard of Cost Plus Drugs, this company he runs that's all about transparency in healthcare. So he has like concrete ideas and a track record to help fix the healthcare system, make it more affordable, make like super poor people be able to actually like get stuff even if they're uninsured. So I think he actually has legitimate, likable, well-reasonable policies that are broadly appealing to both bases. Yes.
The two directions that I was pulled in here are one, an immediate revulsion to the idea that another TV personality billionaire is going to be the next president of the United States.
Yep.
I feel like that is something that we need to get away from. It feels like a movement in the direction of
Idiocracy.
like Linda McMahon being the head of the Department of Education. It's what are we doing here? You know, but pulling back a bit and thinking about stuff that I've heard Mark Cuban say or Mark Cuban advocate for, I'm not sure how appealing a billionaire is going to be, even at the surface level, to a huge portion of the left in this country, or at least the Democrats in this country. But I feel like everything I've seen him say publicly about things like taxes, healthcare, and like social direction of the country all feel pretty progressive. And this is, you know, I'm open to hearing quotes of how maybe he says we should, you know, billionaires should pay lower taxes, and I didn't see that.
No, he explicitly says billionaires should pay higher
raise
taxes.
taxes on me, like taxes on the wealthy should pay for a bunch of social services that we do not have in the United States. All of these things that I think are personally important, he seems to stand behind that. I guess my open question to people listening is, besides the fact that he just is a billionaire straight up, how many things has he said publicly that don't seem like they would be moving us in a better direction? I don't actually think this is a great pick, but getting past my first like 5-10 second reaction, there's something interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is, you know, we're scrolling this list of options. It's a bad group. You know, it's I'm saying in terms of like, I guess what I'll say is for the almost all the elections of my lifetime since I've been able to vote, most people have felt like we've had two bad choices, or they felt pretty bad. So of this low bar, I actually think Mark Cuban's fine. Like I think he, him and Biden, I don't feel like, I'm so leaning for Biden or Kamala. I'm so leaning for Kamala. I would pick him over either of those two, actually.
There's a big problem that I see that you alluded to at the beginning. The next two people below Gavin Newsom were AOC and Pete Buttigieg. I think the problem right now, because the approval is so low, this applied to Gavin, but applies to everybody else, is anybody that is tied to the Democratic Party in the past 5 to 10 years feels like they have to overcome a massive hurdle in order to get accepted into the position. Like, I think AOC and Buttigieg might be decent options functionally, but my faith in their ability to win is actually rather low because of their association to the party at large. The only person I can even think of that has a commanding place in, let's say, left-wing politics in the United States that I think could overcome this is Bernie. And the reason I say that is because there is a strong narrative, even among Republicans, that the Democrats fucked him the first time. And,
he's got an outsider
and he's also an
status.
independent
But he's
outside
so
of that.
old, too.
So I don't think he's the guy either because he's just too old and it's too late for his window. But other than Bernie, all of the people that have had all this Democratic politician face time in the last few years, it feels insurmountable for them to become the candidate that everybody likes. That's why it feels like this, weirdly, Mark Cuban feels more reasonable in that he's fresh and new.
I think you have to go in two directions, either farther to the left to somebody like AOC, or I guess like more center, but with an outsider. And that's what Cuban would represent. And so I think you have to go one of those two. You can't,
if I wanted to win, I would campaign, whether I'm Mark or whoever, I would definitely take a piece out of Trump's playbook and campaign on a populist message. I think right now you have to take like a hard left populist message to win in some way. Whether or not that all of the messaging that goes along with that is 100% the solution to every problem. But I think that the path to winning has something to do with Trump took populism in a bad time and won with it, and the other side needs to do the same. And I don't think the Democrats, no matter who it is at the moment, really represent the everyday man.
I think there's two routes this goes, and depending on that is how you're going to have to pick your candidate. So there's the first route, which is that things mostly hold up okay over the next 3 years, and the Democrats need to pick somebody who's a little safer, who can pull over some center-right Republicans.
Yeah.
There's another route where things get so bad over the next 3 years, Democrats are almost guaranteed to win. And in that case, you want to pick a candidate who's a little more exciting or progressive or different, because this is your chance to you can get real change.
You can make
passed
really big changes.
because you're almost guaranteed to win, because the economy or job or whatever is so bad that you're just going to win by default, which is kind of, to be honest, what Trump sort of had this last election, which is that people were so mad about inflation. He was kind of running with a huge wind at his back. There's a real chance that happens again. And so there's a chance you could waste this opportunity by picking someone super safe, or there's a chance where it's a close election and you need to pick somebody who's like more broadly appealing. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know.
I have no idea. We're 3 years
It could
away.
be an AOC or it could be a Mark Cuban. I really don't know.
To me, we preface this conversation is more for fun than anything, right? Because so much can change between
It will
then
change.
and
Just
now.
Speak for
It'll
yourself.
change
I'm a
dramatically.
political expert.
Fair enough. Political expert Doug.
I mean, think about how much happened in the last 3 years. It's insane. So yeah, a lot will change. If you have your own suggestions or picks.
What I'll say is like, I feel there's a pretty strong chance that we get a Mark Cuban or LeBron type figure, not to this degree necessarily, but somebody who's kind of like a popular brand. I don't see us moving away from that.
Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast, dude.
Mr. Beast?
And I'm not saying I like that, but it feels like it'd be hard to move away from that after that's dominated the conversation for 12 years. And you've seen how utterly ruthlessly efficient Trump has been with like utilizing that.
Last to leave the White House gets $1 million. That would be a banger video.
Do you want to hear my other